Hi guys, and welcome to lesson number 8. And today we're going to talk about rendering in Substance Painter. Last time we finished adding details and decals to liven up our robot character and finished texturing it. So the next step would be rendering it out. And you can actually do it inside Substance Painter. If you go up here to the top of the screen, you can see Mode, and if you click on it, we have two different options, Painting and Rendering. So I'm going to click on Rendering. And here, as you can see, we opened up our rendering viewport. Here on the side, we have render settings. So as you can see, there's a status bar, your resolution, iterations, and rendering time. A bit lower, there's a button if you want to pause or continue your rendering. Then we have minimum and maximum samples. They represent the quality of your render, and the longer time can describe how long you wanted to render. The longer the time, the better the result. So I'm going to decrease it to 60. And as you can see, if I increase the max render time, and it's probably going to finish sampling before it runs out of time. So whichever comes first, either the 1,000 samples or the time. So as you can see, 1,000 of 1,000, and the rendering time is 42 seconds. Okay, so a bit lower, we have caustic sampler enabled, so I'm not going to turn it on. We're not going to use that. Firefly filter enabled. I'll keep that on. Here, if you click on this button right here, you can see we can edit the viewport resolution. So let's say I want it square. So 1920, and I'm going to have a square image. And then save render when it's done, or share. Up here we have display settings. So here you can change your environment. Right now it's panorama, but we can change it to something, I don't know, studio lighting, let's say, or another environment. Let's say your character's in a desert. And it looks pretty nice. All right, so if we scroll a bit downwards here, we have environment exposure, so you can edit that brighter or darker. I'm going to keep it on default. Environment rotation, just rotates your environment. You can also do that by shift and right-clicking the mouse button and get the same effect. Okay, scrolling a bit lower, we have your dome settings. And here you can choose your dome types: sphere, complete sphere, sphere with ground, or infinite sphere. So I'm going to select sphere, and a bit lower we have the radius, the size of your dome. And then a bit lower we have texture scale, which sets the size of an image on your dome. So right here we have checkboxes, and the first one is a clear color. And if I click on it, you can see we have a one-color background. Here's ground, so you can toggle off the ground, and your character is going to float in the air. Then we have camera settings, so here you can adjust those. And we have focus distance and aperture. And down here we have post-process effects like color correction. If you want to adjust those and play with these settings, feel free. Then tone mapping, glare, and vignette, which is it makes the corners darker to make your object the center of attention. Lens distortion, and so on. So you can play with all those settings and see what you like. So for our render, I'm going to change a few things. I'm going to keep the same lighting as before. The panorama. I'm going to shift right mouse button and try to adjust the lighting a bit to somewhere around the middle, but make sure it's coming with just a little bit of an angle. For the exposure, I'm going to increase it a little bit. For the dome, I'm going to keep the sphere a clear color. Going to make it a little bit darker, like so. And I'm not going to use the ground to make it look like it's floating. Next, focus distance and aperture. So I'm going to increase the aperture by a lot. And then I'm going to find a place. So I want these 3 dots to be those 5 dots to be sharp. Then I'm going to adjust this focus distance slider until those 5 dots are nice and sharp. Too much. And I think I found it. So now I'm going to adjust the aperture to make the blur look more natural looking. And as you can see, we've blurred out some details in the background, and we have a sharp image in the front. Now, if you try to rotate or adjust your camera zoom, you will have to redo this focusing process. So the last thing I want to do is increase the time to, let's say, 120 seconds, wait for it to render out, and then click on Save Render. Okay, so that's going to be it for this lesson, and in the next one, we'll talk about exporting your texture maps. So I'll see you all then. Bye-bye.